Yeah, we could be dancing all night, waking up for the sunrise. Late 'cause we're losing track of time. Yeah, we're in young love, 'cause when I'm with you it feels like falling in love for the first time. It'll always be true. Yeah, I know we're in young love.
Every single way, your smile reminds me. In every single way, your smile reminds me. In every single way, your smile reminds me of the perfect day.
after William M. Wrigley Jr. of Wrigley Chewing Gum. That one there, the Burj Khalifa, located in Dubai. But here's a fun fact for you. The Burj Khalifa, glorious building, is starting off the tour today. Just next to it, to its left, lines up with the area to the left of that clock tower of the Wrigley Building. By architect Adrian Smith. So he's a
Your face is a map I've traced so many times. Your heart might be weathered, but I know it's mine. Oh, at least you're still mine.
He added things like grocery stores, shopping centers, a restaurant.
Takes us a while just to get into bed. Unlike the good old days when we first met. Oh, we got the time. You still make my heart race anytime you and I are alone. Hold you till my hand shake every night as we find our way home. Humming a tune while you're brushing your teeth, and slow dance to Louis, but trip on my feet. Oh, you still make me laugh. We've traded late nights for a quieter grace, dinner for two at a much slower pace. Oh,